What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jay back with another video, and this video is the guide to Powerhouse. Following up my last video when I said resistance is still the fastest way to get classified and exotic gear, that still definitely holds true. You could probably farm this in about 20 minutes or less if you know where you're going. Cause I know this run took me about like 30 minutes, but I spent a lot of time running around trying to find hiding spots, trying to find where I was going to be for the next zone. So if you already pretty much know where you're going to be at and where you want to farm while you're in here, you'll pretty much be straight. And honestly, the global event helped a little bit, but it didn't really help too much, so it didn't affect my time based off how long it would take to run through this whole thing, because I mainly use a skill build anyway, and skill builds don't work with the global event. Like, you don't get shocked just by using the skill build. I'm just running the striker right now just to cruise past this first part. It's always best to run like a actual gunner type build in the beginning, but when you get to round 4, go ahead and switch to your skill build so you can rack up as many kills as possible, very fast, very easy and efficient. So pretty much you got the same concept. Rounds 1 through 3, simple stuff. You just kill the NPCs. On 2 or 3, you'll probably get a disrupt round where you'll be disrupted. Pretty much just run straight through that round. All this stuff is going to be easy. Now when you get to round 4, you pretty much want to stay in this area. So stay in this area, but you might want to stay back here in this tunnel. Like, if you think you may get hit too hard by NPCs, you can easily stay back there in that tunnel, wait for the NPCs to come to you, and you can shred the NPCs. And then when it's time for you to leave, just book it for the door. See, so think about this. So here, if you're not familiar with this map, give yourself a lot of time to get to that box. You don't necessarily have to stand at the box right away, but make sure you give yourself enough time, because if you don't get to that box in time, it is over. You're going to be starting over, and then you're going to be pretty upset that you just, wasted probably like a couple minutes doing waves 1 through 3, and I just got to start all the way over. So just make sure you give yourself enough time. Like, I haven't ran this board before, so that's why I left off at the minute mark. If I knew that it was this close, I probably would have waited a little bit longer before I had left my initial farming spot. But one thing I noticed about this board right away is there's a lot of places that are like wide open in a sense, or that has a double entry feature to them, where it's a lot harder to find like cover and stuff like that. But in this video, I'll show you a couple highlighted spots where that I found work for me in terms of taking cover. I know it's a really good spot, but it has nothing to do with the box, so you would essentially just be wasting your points, and you'll have to be in here like even longer. So you'll go way above round 10 just in order to hit the box. So as you see here, I saved the last enemy and I go back to the initial room. I mean, the reason why I do this is because I'm running a skill build, so I let my Terran sit up there for a little bit longer, and it just racked up kills for me. If you haven't seen, it made my credits jump in a sense. So I'm pretty much at 5,000 credits, and we're at wave 5. That's pretty good so far. And if I would have decided to farm this round right here, my credits would have been even higher. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the key step if you want to hit the box 5 times, or if you want to hit the box 3 times. Because I never farm the boss rounds. I just usually kill the boss and just go out about my day. I just farm the data breach rounds, because since I'm running a skill build, I can't control like what my skills kill anyway, so I'm not really even worried about it. I mean, hitting the box 3 times is fine with me. I don't have a problem with that. It takes me 20 minutes or less to run this anyway, so I don't really care. But anyway, so move on to round 6. You don't necessarily have to be right here to farm. These are just the drones, but you might want to leave one enemy alive, and that's what I did here. I left one enemy alive, and I prepared for the next round. So I'm pretty much essentially looking around to see if I can find any good areas to hide at. But like I said, like, there's really no good areas that you can hide at without opening up a door. But I found back here, if you run a turret, the enemies only come in one way. So you could actually farm back here and you will be okay. But everyone's preference is different, so I would highly suggest leaving one NPC alive so you can run around the map, get a feel for the map, get a gist of like where everything's at, because this map is just one big maze and it's really easy to get lost in. But I choose this to be my go-to spot, so I pretty much run through wave 7, because wave 7 you're just killing NPCs, there's nothing special. And then after that you have to prepare for the next round with the shotgunners. So the way I prepare, like as you see, I'm already putting on my immune box, getting that ready, and then I'm going to end up shutting down my turret. I'm just going to end up killing the NPC with my gun. So then I can go ahead and switch to a flame turret, and I can just be about my business, and I can already be ready to set that up as soon as the wave starts. So we got wave 8, and this is kind of like what I'm talking about. So you got 2 points of entry. If they get past my flame turret, they're going to go around me. It's not too big of a deal in wave 8, but in wave 9 that can be a huge deal, because if they hit you, that's essentially like almost like death right there if they melee you or whatever. But as you see here, like I'm racking up kills, and I have a smooth cover spot, so I'm not taking a lot of damage, and I can just sit back here, make sure I keep tossing my turret out and just shredding NPCs. So pretty much what you do here, you do the same thing like if you was in the first room. You just sit here, farm NPCs, just shred them down, and then once you come down to a certain time, so I don't know how long it's gonna take you because the laptop will be in a different spot, but I know me, and I wanted to give myself like a little bit extra time. So I'll leave I think I leave at around like 30 something. But just all I would say is just, once again, make sure you leave in enough time. So give yourself enough time to leave. Like don't try to cut it too close, because you cut it too close and then that's your whole run, you're over with, and then you're gonna try to run through all the NPCs and then you might die on top of that. So just keep that in mind. Don't even risk it. It's not worth it just for extra kills. Like no, it's not worth it. You can just stand by the box and just make sure it's not registering, and you can kill NPCs like that. And then when it's time for you to hit the box, right before it hits 0, then you can go ahead and go over to the box and just sit there and farm. But yeah, so this area over here is actually a pretty good area. It's a pretty good spot, but it still has 2-way entry. Well, actually 3-way to be honest, because they can come across this corner from the left, and they can come from the right. Then they can come up those stairs right there in the middle. So that's the thing about that one. But if you're running with a group, honestly, if you got a skill power build, one of y'all can run smart cover, and that'll pretty much set this up like as good as it could be. Cause it's a lot of corners. It's just like it has like a lot of entry points. But if you running like my bad, not smart cover, but mobile cover. If you're running mobile cover, that could give you that extra barricade to protect yourself. But anyway, same thing with wave 8. Leave the last enemy and prepare for the next round. So the next round I know is going to be a contamination round, so I'm preparing for that. Already got the flame turret up, I already got my immune bag up, and I'm ready to go. So already make sure you're pretty much close to your farming spot, or you're going to be already in your farming spot when this wave starts, especially wave 9, because if your health touches 0, your ability will not proc. You will automatically die, and that'll be the whole wave. So keep that in mind. Nevertheless, if you get hit by an NPC, it does massive melee damage. If not, it'll kill you. So I would say mainly just, if you run a skill build, just stay inside your support station and let your skills do the work, and you'll be fine. Now if you're not running, see, and this is where it got kind of scary for a second, because I didn't want to come too close, and then he was gonna like melee me or something, and then my box is destroyed. So, and I'm out of medkits. But this is where the skill hasten stuff comes in handy. But anyway, I farm, and then I get to the spot of my choosing. So now I'm back at the initial round, or my initial place where I started off at. And the reason why I choose this place is because it started off really good here, and I probably should have put my turret in a different place, and it would have been better. I would have got more kills. But essentially I'm just staying down in this tunnel, waiting for the bosses. Like I said, I don't farm the boss rounds, so if you wanted to farm the boss rounds, you would do this differently. But since I don't, I'm just trying to shred the NPCs and get to the bosses, because I don't want to wait until the last minute. Because Lord knows, like, my health is, I'm not strong at all when it comes to health. So I don't want to be trying to charge through NPCs, risking my life just to try to kill them because, like, they're sitting in the back. Because this one I had a tank and I had a sniper. I would say snipers is probably like one of the worst ones you can get, especially if you're running solo and you're running a skill build, because those are the people you actually got to run down on. So I was actually able to like shred them down from that distance, but usually they like to hide out. So you actually got to come to them. So you actually got to run through NPCs and stuff like that. But once you hit wave 10, so as you see here, I'm switching my skills around. Because I'm going to leave one NPC alive and I'm going to run for that box. So I'm not even going to start up the next wave. I'm just going to grab all the stuff I need, and then I'm going to make my way down to the box. So this is the first door you open, and then the second door you pretty much just run through here. Now that's the dead end. So you just pretty much run through here, hit it right, and then right below this is going to be a bunch of pipes and stuff like that. So that'll be where you can see where you're supposed to be going to see if you're in the right spot. And then you just run down to disposal. So remember, you're going to open up the first initial door, and then you're going to run down to disposal to open up the next door. And this is the only 2 doors you should be opening. You don't need to open up any other doors. You could go down there, pretty much collect the vision tech, and you will be smooth. You don't have really too much to worry about. But that pretty much sums up this video. Hope you guys found this pretty useful in terms of running resistance and powerhouse. It's really not that hard. It's just really just knowing your surroundings and just leaving that last enemy alive. I would say that's the biggest part of running survival. But anyway, it's your boy Jay. Catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.